Okay. Okay. Hello, all. Welcome to the stream. I am Paul Mosi Hinton, and it is October 12th, Tuesday, October 12th. And here we are back for a. Whoa. Hey, ooh, that's a lot of. I wonder how. A lot of people. Thank you for following. I don't think those people are here right now. I believe that must have happened between now and the last stream. But anyway, thanks, Sild Kutujer. Thanks, Ariomando 9. Thanks, Destroyer T0. Thanks, Nguyen Kber. I hope these are real people. Anyway, thanks for following. Hope you like photography stuff. Hope you like random photography, video game based stuff. Today we're actually doing some real photography on the stream. We've done this a couple times, and I love doing it. Obviously, I love photography quite a bit. Otherwise, why would I be doing a stream about photography, right? And if you missed the last stream we did on a Texture Tuesday, we call these Texture Tuesdays. Working title, but I like it. The last time we shot this beautiful little seashell, just some close-up texture of this beautiful little guy. And, you know, I'll probably end up photographing some of this stuff more than once. These are all kind of, what we're doing now are all basically kind of just trial runs and getting the workflow down. For me at least, getting the workflow down. Getting the idea of how this actually works. My little mini studio setup here is not quite complete, I wouldn't say, which I actually do have some news on that front. If you've been following along, this is just a clothes hanger that was just sitting in here. But if you've been following along with the stream, you would know that I have plans to hang some lights, hang my monitors. I'm just using, first of all, a very inexpensive, basically what amounts to an on-camera LED light for my key light right now, and then my background and what will predominantly light the subject is going to basically be just this dome light that I have up on the ceiling. It's just the standard dome light. It's like I have a LED bulb in there. But to hang my lights, I'm going to hang some, I'm not going to actually probably say speed rail. I could say speed rail. It's not technically probably speed rail, but I'm going to hang some pipe, some tubing across the ceiling, or across one of the, close to the ceiling at least, to hang some of my lights and stuff. And I finally got these little mounts. This is actually just a, clothes hanging mount for clothes, for, you know, a clothes hanging pole of sorts, but it should work. It should do its job. So kind of got a step further in that regard. Keeping it really simple. I was thinking about doing like multiple crossbars and stuff, but I think I'm just going to keep it simple. Do one bar straight across the top, or at least not straight across, but kind of off to one side. And then I can hang the actual studio lights that we're going to have, which I do have some beautiful light panels, Astras, that I'm going to hang. And then most of this will be light with. My key light's going to be the Astra, and this should be lit. The little studio will be lit with an Astra. And then we'll also have, hopefully, a little bit more of a clean backdrop to shoot in. Right now, I'm literally just shooting in this old wooden box that kind of just contains whatever it is we're shooting, and it cuts some of the light, because right now I've been using kind of like a low-key dark backdrop for all these little mini photo shoots we've done, and I like the way those end up looking, so that's what we're going to stick with for now. But again, these are just kind of test trial runs, getting this down as we get started doing this and get it down. But if you missed any of the other Texture Tuesdays, they do end up on my YouTube page eventually. I don't think I have I uploaded? I think I uploaded one of our actual photo shoots so far. But whoops. But if you check the YouTube, all these old things will end up on there eventually. All the previous streams will end up on there, or they should, in a reasonable amount of time. If it's, I don't know, technically maybe it's not reasonable. But anyway, today we're going to be photographing. First of all, I have this new 90mm close focus lens. They call the brand, it's a Schneider lens. Okay, Schneider 90mm f4.5. They call it a macro, spelled Makro, and it's not. It does not have the best. It really has pitiful macro performance in the true sense of the word. So it's not really a macro lens. I'm going to be using some of the Canon extension tubes to reduce that minimum focusing distance just a little bit. But it actually is probably unnecessary, because after doing these tests that I do, I shoot a little bit of this before I even jump in to make sure I'm not going to screw anything up as badly as I possibly could. So I know that I actually probably don't need both the extension tubes on there, but I'm just leaving them on there anyway, just in case I want to go in for a much closer shot. Probably won't. Shooting with the Canon R5, the Schneider 90mm perspective control lens, and both the Canon 12mm and 25mm extension tubes, along with the Canon EF drop-in filter adapter, because this lens that I have is an EF mount lens. And I'll take it out. I don't want to take it out and show it right now, because the way I have it tethered, there's a little bit of a hiccup every single time I have to turn on or off the camera or unplug the camera. And EOS Utility, which is our Canon's tethering software that we're going to be shooting in, that doesn't play well with being plugged in and unplugged. I have trouble getting the size on the interface, the user interface screen size. I can't get it to fully extend without troubleshooting. And I think that also has to do with the dual monitor setup that I have, and some kind of discrepancy between the resolution of the two different monitors. So I'll figure that out. But the workaround has been just to not turn it on and off at all if I'm not ready to unplug everything and plug it back in. Which I don't want to do while we're streaming, because I don't want to troubleshoot while we're streaming if we don't have to. I hope everyone had a great day. First of all, hope you're all having a great night. If not, take a minute and just take a breath. Just relax. Okay, I always urge everybody to relax. I always urge myself to relax. Actually, it's really good. Relaxation is very good. That doesn't mean it doesn't mean you're not doing it. You can have a relaxed, calm state of mind and not be stressed out while you're doing these things that might kind of stress you out, right? So just relax. Honestly, I get a crap load of anxiety. I'm live right now on the intranets. I get super anxious about all this kind of stuff, and it helps to just remind yourself to relax. But if I can do it, you can do it. You can get through it. Do it. But I hope whatever it is, it's gonna work out. It's gonna work out. Just relax. So today I have this beautiful little succulent plant that we're gonna shoot. This is actually from my dad's garden. Beautiful. I'll actually probably end up shooting maybe a couple close-up texture shots of succulents during the stream. I think these look really cool, and they have some really cool texture potential. My dad has a whole slew of these, so I'll steal them. I confiscate them, take them away, and photograph them myself. So this is the first one we're going to do. Just going to do a nice little close-up of these beautiful green leaves. I love the texture and the pattern that these make. These leaves, I don't know if they're considered, if you're a botanist, do not make fun of me if these are technically not leaves. I was trying to read up about succulents a little bit, so I didn't sound like too much of a fool, but I'm a fool. I am a fool when it comes to this kind of stuff, because I don't know anything about it. I will admit that. I will admit my ignorance on the topic of anything plant related. In fact, I really don't know much. But this is what we're going to photograph. Probably just going to get like one good shot of it. There's not, again, I fool around looking at the composition and stuff and playing with the lighting a little bit before I jump in. So, and doing that, I don't know, I wasn't really finding multiple angles that really fit well together as like a diptych or anything like that. So I think I'm just going to try to get one good shot of this, and we'll edit it, put it on our backdrop, and be done. So I hope that is okay with y'all. If not, I don't know. Well, I mean, what you could do is just leave, but I'd rather you not leave. I'd rather you stick around, obviously, because people need to be here for this to work, right? I mean, I can't do this by myself. You know what I mean? And I love you all. I love you all. Stop hating me. You know? No, I'm just kidding. I know nobody hates me. Nobody ever. Anyway, I'm gonna pop this into the frame. Another interesting thing, we've talked about how EOS Utility is, which is our shooting software. We've talked about how let's see, where should I do with this LCD? I guess that LCD is kind of cool right there. How you can kind of see what's going on. EOS Utility, the frame rate is terrible, right? It's like a live view frame taken from the USB, and it has like a really bad frame rate. But for some reason on my other monitor, which is probably better, I'm not going to try to compare the two right now. I'm pretty tech savvy, but I'm not that tech savvy about monitors, to be honest with you. So I don't want to sit here and try to describe. I know my iMac has a 5K resolution monitor, and my gaming monitor, my Asus, has, I believe this is only a 1080 monitor, but it might have a better refresh rate or something. I don't know. That's why I didn't want to get into it without looking it up, prepping for that kind of discussion. But when I have EOS Utility on that monitor, the frame rate actually is much better. So I'm going to try to futz around with that and see what we can do, because as we jump in, why don't we just go ahead and do that now? Just go right into our EOS Utility scene. The frame rate, it's really bad. It's like, I don't even know what that is, 10 frames per second or something. I can't tell. It just doesn't, it's not fun. It's not a fun frame rate to watch, and I don't want to give people headaches. And if it bothers you, let me know. If it's really crappy, let me know, and I will really work on it. It's because there's not too much motion. I mean, I only adjust things, a little bit. I'm not that worried about it, especially again, since this is all work in progress. But that was just kind of interesting, because as I was futzing around, I had pulled EOS Utility in on that monitor, and I noticed that the frame rate was like much better. So I don't know, something to think about. But let's just start the shoot. Let's shoot. Are you okay if we shoot? Are we okay shooting? Hello? Does anybody want to experience this? Anybody want to experience me? What is a horseshoe? What does a horseshoe do? Is anybody listening to me? Okay, that's my favorite Billy Madison quote of all time. What's up, Gary? How you going, Gary? Click, click. Click, click, boom. We talked last time. One of these times we talked about how cool just like a really high frame rate shutter noise would be for a phone, for a ringtone. That'd be really cool. Anyway, and I can't wait. Like I said, I'm gonna take this lens out from the scene, from the little studio, and I'll show off the gear a little bit. And eventually, if you do want to help support the channel, I will have links up to all of this gear, and it would obviously very much help the channel if people buy through my affiliate links this kind of stuff. The lens I'm using today, I believe it's technically discontinued. You can't buy these anymore, as far as I know. I got it used. I got a really good deal on it used. on fredmiranda.com, which is an amazing photographic resource. I have no affiliation with them outside of just using that website for at least a decade now. I've been on that website, most especially their buy and sell um, thread, where I buy and sell a lot of cool stuff. And you could probably find these on eBay. I'm going to probably be doing a lot of eBay links and stuff like that. And again, you'll be able to, if you buy through my links and stuff, it'll help support the channel. But for now, that's information for people that are watching this later when I have that kind of stuff set up. Because right now, again, I don't. I know. I'm working on it. It's like, I don't know. There's a lot. There's a lot to do, and I just kind of like doing this. You know, I just want to shoot. I want to either shoot or I want to play. You know. So let's check our settings real quick. ISO 1600. That's fine. I actually don't mind. I typically, if I'm shooting for realsies, I'm gonna shoot at ISO 100. But ooh, look at that brightness go up. But just in the interest of not having ridiculously long exposure times, I'm gonna shoot mostly at higher ISOs for now. I don't know, maybe at some point when we have more fun stuff we can do in the interim between the shutter opening and closing, then maybe I'll be fine doing like 30 or 45 minute exposures. But for now I don't really want to make people sit around. I don't really have much. Like I have to build like talking points or something that would be interesting to hear me talk about while we're futzing around waiting for the shutter to close. Oh, this is gorgeous. You know what I should do? I was trying to decide if I thought I was going to maybe want this one. We've been cropping everything to 16:9 recently because I love 16:9, which I guess maybe we'll do here. And I was going to look, and maybe, why don't I futz around with it now? Maybe I won't futz around. I don't want to dig around too much. I was going to say, I think you can at least do frame guides on here. I've never had to, really. Image no, overlays, that's not what we're going to want. Guides, show a grid. Looks like I could probably make one. I don't want to mess around with this now. I don't know, it's just fun to talk about it while we're here. Show you what I don't know. Show you everything I don't know, because I do not know a lot. As much as I'd love to be omniscient and all-knowing, but I'm just not, okay? I'm not. I know a lot, but I don't know everything. We are shooting in RAW, dual pixel RAW, of course. DPR, dual pixel RAW. You can see that kind of right there in that little shooting dialogue window. Which we won't even do anything. Maybe we'll do like a cool dual pixel RAW stream where we futz around with the actual dual pixel tech that they got right now. Here's my rant about dual pixel RAW. Always shoot dual pixel RAW. Always shoot dual pixel RAW. In my opinion, it is just not well utilized yet. I mean, the only way you can work with dual pixel RAW files is in Canon software, and it has very basic functionality. I have read about people building software that opened more functionality, but Photoshop itself has no way to work with the actual dual pixel. I mean, it uses one of the images from the dual pixel RAW file, which, if you know what dual pixel RAW is, it's basically shooting two pictures at the exact same time. And then you can use it just has obviously the pixels are split in two, and each pixel captures a separate image from a very, very slightly different angle. And that opens the door for things like adjusting the focus, adjusting the bokeh, and adjusting the flare that the image is going to have. But it's so minute. What you can do is very minute, almost to the point of it being kind of silly. And the software that I've read about that was the most exciting was this person developed a way to take the dual pixel images, both the images, and what they say, I haven't checked into this too much because I think you needed a PC to even try it. And who knows, it might have just been a huge April Fool's joke or something, and I could just be being an idiot. But what they had claimed was that each dual pixel image, the two images are slightly different exposures, and this person found a way to dig both those images out, combine them, and increase the dynamic range of the image. I don't know how true that is, but that sounded really cool. And regardless, getting two images at the same time, that's twice the amount of light. And if nothing else, you should be able to combine those and increase the image quality somehow, in my theory that I have. And if you shoot dual pixel now, my bet is that later those dual pixel images will have a lot more functionality. So I always shoot them. They're double the file size though, because again, it's literally like shooting two pictures at once. But anyway, long rant about dual pixel raw. I know the chat. Oh, geez. Yeah, my chat's going crazy right now with the complaints about how long we spent on that. That's fine. I'm sorry. Let's move on. Let's shoot. So this is really, really well composed already, isn't it? What I kind of was trying to decide is like how much, if I want it like really moody. Yeah, something like that, dude. Something like that, dude, or moody with like just a little bit of it illuminated like that. I think that's really cool. I personally think that's cool. And like, I think I'm gonna leave, get out of here and leave like a little bit of room at the top and like not really worry about the bottom being too dirty, because I think I'm gonna continue doing a 16:9 crop on these. I think so. If you're not if no one's angry about that, I don't know why you'd be angry about it. If you're angry about that, I don't know, man. Just don't be angry about that. Relax. Again, told everybody to relax at the beginning of the stream, and I really mean that. Especially myself. Just chill. Just chill. Lean back and take a deep breath. It'll all be okay. So yeah, it's looking pretty freaking sweet. That's looking pretty sweet. I have the lens. This lens is very interesting, by the way, because it's all fully manual. There's no electronic control at all. So even my aperture, I'm gonna have to close it down manually. So it has this aperture preset mechanism that's very interesting. And my plan, the reason I even got this lens, I'm most likely not going to keep it. I have this 90mm Schneider, and then I have the 50mm Schneider lens. And both of them I really just got because I wanted to compare between the Canon EF mount versions and these versions, and just note the differences. Maybe not necessarily image quality wise, because I don't think I'm qualified to quantify the differences between the lenses in that regard. I don't have like a really good shooting setup to do lens resolution tests and things like that. I'd thought about that. Maybe at some point I can do stuff like that, but mostly the physical differences and the ergonomic differences of shooting between these lenses. They're very these Schneiders are beautiful lenses, and again, I'm going to show a little bit, but it has this aperture preset mechanism that you basically choose your shooting aperture, which in this case, I actually don't mind. I'm not going to go for a completely sharp front to back image on this one. I think I'm fine with some of the image falling out of focus and us just really having some beautiful slices of focus. So I'm gonna shoot. I'm just gonna close down this wide open. We're at f4.5. I'm gonna close down to an 8, to an f8. Which again, I mean, this. See, it's so interesting. So you set your aperture, and then you have this preset mechanism that lets you open the aperture wide open, and then you just spin this blue ring. And again, I'll show you the lens once we're finished shooting, but you just use this blue ring to actually close down really quick to your preset aperture. So you set it with the actual aperture ring, and then you close down when you're ready to shoot. You leave the preset wide open, and then you can just quickly spin this thing without even having to look at your aperture because you've already set your working aperture, and you just use that ring to close down when you're ready to shoot. This reminds me very much of shooting back in the day. With a 4x5 camera, you always had to compose wide open, and then, or I mean, any lens, any camera system that had no aperture control, you'd have to usually compose and focus wide open to let as much light in, because I don't know if you guys aren't used to looking through optical viewfinders, which you shouldn't be anymore, because most viewfinders that you're going to look at are going to be electronic these days. Got a lot to say about that. Oh man, we could do a whole stream on optical viewfinder versus electronic viewfinder. Whew. This is like, if we're talking politics, I mean, that's about as political as it gets. What do you like more, electronic aperture or optical viewfinder? I don't know, man. I like both. I've used electronic. I've used EVFs, and I've used optical viewfinders a lot. So it's like, just get your pictures, take your pictures. Man, this is looking. I really like the way this looks already. I really like how there's sort of. Well, first of all, I pushed the subject back into. I should have cleaned these things, huh? It's going to be like a dirty... I mean, this is supposed to be texture, right? So, like... I guess it doesn't matter that there's, like, some dust and stuff on there. It'd be badass if there was a tiny little spider web in there. My buddy... One of my buddies on here does a lot of macro photography. And he has a beautiful low base guy. I don't know if you're here. My buddy Low Base Guy has an amazing spider photography, macro photography images that are just to die for. And anyway, I'm just picturing a tiny little spider web in here. How cool would that be? Oh, man. Probably get some of that kind of stuff on the stream at some point. But anyway, I like the way I pushed this back so that the light is getting cut just on the back side and the top side of those leaves. And then the way these front leaves are leaning forward is just naturally cutting the light from the bottom half of them. So it kind of looks like the light is only falling into the central portion of the succulent. And I like that. I think that looks absolutely gorgeous. Personally, I love selective lighting scenarios. Personally, I really enjoy them. Ooh. Again, I'm going to try to compose it with the 16:9 crop in mind, which just means we're going to crop a little bit off the top and maybe a little bit off the bottom. So it doesn't matter if the bottom of the frame isn't as clean as I want it to be, or the top of the frame is too much headroom or something. We're going to play around with that later. I'm not worried about losing resolution, having to crop. Again, this is all destined. This is all destined for, I mean, at least right now, all destined for Instagram. And it's not a big deal to have a low resolution, because Instagram, as far as I know, and I think I've said this in every stream, as far as I know, you can only post 1080 images on Instagram, which is a shame, because we photographers love our resolution, don't we? Man, that looks, I don't know, that looks pretty freaking sweet. The only thing I don't like is that white line on the right side. But other than that, I really like that. And I really love the way it's lit. I like the way it's lit. I'm almost thinking, though, maybe I should compose it kind of further on that side. No. I like the way it has that. I just kind of want that really bright central leaf to kind of be composed a little bit further on one side of the frame. But I don't know, so maybe it's not that big of a deal. Maybe, but then I could see, like I said, I could push it and have it more like that. But then, I don't know, it doesn't really have as much filling the frame, as much interesting texture filling the frame. So yeah, maybe just leaving it like that. Looks pretty cool. And eventually, I think what we'll probably do with these, eventually I would love to sell prints of some of this work. But I can't really, I'm not really set up to do that right now. So I think what we'll probably end up doing with a lot of these first images that we're creating, these are just going to be available for download. And people can use them as your desktop background desktop drop. Or, what happened there? Oh, I see what's happening. Hang on. What is happening? Oh, no, that's fine. Okay, we're good. We're good. Are we good? What is that? Okay, yeah, hang on a second. Hang on. I'm getting some light from outside coming in the door, and it's just hitting the backdrop, which isn't that bad of a... No, see, because I want that full thing. I want it to be cut. We're basically going to make that background almost completely black when we're going to crunch those shadows a little bit in Photoshop. Hang on one second. Tip it out one just got me, Odell. It's interesting. I can see. I mean, that's how unsuitably lit this whole area is, because I'm running into issues with the light bleeding from other places, spilling from other places, and also the light reflecting from other things and whatever. It's a very haphazard way to shoot. We're shooting in a very haphazard way. Again, just kind of getting the hang of doing this kind of stuff on the stream. But that looks pretty sweet, dude. I'm really liking the way that looks. Do you notice anything? I can't solve this murder. Can you? Is anybody saying, you guys see anything? What do you like? What do you like? What do you not like? What are your hopes? What are your dreams? What are your passions? Let's tilt. I'm going to tilt the lens just to give it a tiny bit more. We're going to go with like a 3% tilt to increase the depth of field just from front to back just a little bit, just a tiny bit. Again, I actually don't mind how some of these fall off, how the focus falls off between some of the leaves. I think a little bit of out of focus area actually increases the pop of the image, especially on a smaller screen. And it does, in my opinion, it does have a lot to do with viewing size and how large the image is going to be viewed. But the depth of field can change that three-dimensional feel. And you will probably hear, if you listen to photographers talk about images, you will probably hear them talk about three-dimensional pop of the image or things, something like that. And in my opinion, just a very slight, and again, it kind of depends on viewing distance, depends on the subject, but a slight bit of out of focus to the image can definitely increase that three-dimensional pop In my opinion. Okay, that looks pretty cool. I would love a little bit of breathing room between the edges of those 2 points on the left and right side, the very edge of those. Just a tiny bit more frame space on there. And I'm focusing just on that centrally lit portion. That centrally lit leaf. Succulent leaf. Succulent. Succulent. Okay, yeah, so anyway, focusing right open. Okay, that's all good. I think we're good, man. Okay, so we're at ISO 800. I'm going to close my lens down to our shooting aperture, f8. And then let's pop the exposure a little bit longer. Again, that's the reason I'm going to shoot a higher ISO. I mean, again, ideally, I'd be shooting this at ISO 100, if not ISO 50. Unfortunately, ISO 50 on Canon cameras doesn't really. It doesn't increase it actually decreases the dynamic range. It should bring down the noise, but if you shoot ISO 100 slightly overexposed and bring the exposure down, it's like the exact same thing basically. So unless you're shooting JPEG and really want like the lowest amount of noise, and you don't want to process the images, shooting ISO 50 should be a really clean, straight out of camera image. Anyway, so let's do a 5 second. We'll do one really bright. Or actually, let's do 6 seconds. One really, really bright, overexposed is way too overexposed. Actually, we'll do 8 seconds. Screw it, I'm not driving. 8 second exposure. Again, I think that the top and bottom could be cropped a little bit here, but I know I'm going to crop it to a 16:9, so that's why I don't mind that. We're shooting in RAW plus JPEG. I always shoot RAW plus JPEG. I like to see the camera profile, the built-in camera profile, and compare that to the final edited image a lot of the time. So I always shoot both personally. Plus, then you have a small JPEG if you want to send that off right away. I think that's a good method. Whoops. Oh, whoopsie. Okay, so let's shoot that long. Let's shoot our long 8 second exposure. 8 second dance party. The light meter's telling me it's about a 1 2/3 of a stop overexposed according to the light meter. Okay, shooting. Stand still. Hold your breath. Give him the stick. Don't give him the stick. Okay, we got that one. Bueno. Doing it 5 seconds. Did that change? Why isn't the exposure changing? Let me make sure. Let's go into. Yeah, okay, we're fine. That's fine. 5 second exposure. I think it's because I switched from compose back to live view, I think. Also, I know exposure simulation does not do that well with non-electronically controlled apertures, or if you're just shooting with a third-party lens and there's no data being transmitted, there does seem to be some issue. 5 second, we'll do a 2.5 second. I always bracket exposures, and you would be smart to do the same if your subject allows it. But even I don't know if anybody out there has been playing with the playing with any kind of photo merging software, like recent photo merging software, because they I mean, automated photo merging with moving subject, it can do a pretty good job now with de-ghosting the image. Okay, 1/3. We don't even need this exposure really, but I'll take it anyway. I'll take it. And then that's, that's pretty good. That's all. Again, I don't want to futz around too much. I don't think any other compositions were really striking me when I was doing this earlier. Any other additional compositions? We're done with that one, though, so I can move this. I guess we can mess around just for the hell of it. I mean, there could be a lot of cool stuff, but it's like, again, if it's going to be working in tandem, like there's no, like with the seashells, there's a clear interior and exterior texture between the two sides and things like that. And any other angle on this, at this focus distance, mind you, I mean, on a, that looks pretty cool too. That does look pretty cool too. I mean, they all look pretty cool. It's all gonna look cool. This whole thing looks cool. So it's gonna be hard for it to not look cool. I don't know, but that looks pretty cool though. I'll shoot this side. I mean, that's pretty close to what we already had though. You know what I mean? If not the exact same freaking thing. Right? So it's like, no, let's not dick around too much. Let's get into the edit. Good shoot. High five. Shooting is half the battle. Now we're gonna develop. I'm gonna develop these images and get them ready for print. Oh yeah, usually I think I generally have my mouse pad here, which, by the way, check this out. Hang on. Let me go into big mode. Big mode. Check this out, dude. Check out my mouse pad, dude. My Tim Heidecker mouse pad. As Tim Heidecker asking for fans to send in a new mouse pad. And my brother won. It wasn't a I don't know if it was a contest. I mean, it was a contest. So Tim Heidecker asked my brother. Tim Heidecker calls up my brother one day. Now, on Tim's podcast, he asked for somebody to send him in a new mouse pad because he needed one. And so a bunch of people sent in different mouse pads that they had created. And my brother actually got his chosen as Tim's new mouse pad, which he chose. My brother used a picture of the moon that he took, got it printed on a circular mouse pad, and it looked amazing. I'd rather be using that mouse pad, but this one works. This is really cool. So after he won, the show sent him this mouse pad as a thank you, and my brother gave it then to me to use. Pretty cool. I'm pretty stoked on that. I think I've showed it off once. I'll probably show it off 100 times until I get sick of it. Until there's too many people sick of it. Anyway, back in, dude. Back into the rock zone. Okay, rock zone time. Rock zone? Why is it the rock zone? Because we're rocking and we're rolling and we're feeling fine. Bebop and rock steady. Ninja Turtles. So, let's go into Bridge and check these out. Ooh, boy. Ooh, how the mighty have fallen. So we don't need the JPEGs. We can just filter out into the camera raw images. And I was going to maybe combine exposures, but I have gotten I had some success. I don't think I blew anything out here. Let's check. We'll open a couple of these. This one's closest to what the exposure will be like. We're going to darken this background quite a bit. We'll bring up the contrast. We're going to really get that background to be very low key. I don't mind that there's a bit of a reddish tint to it. Red and green go well together, so that is fine. But this is closer to what the final exposure will be, but I'll open up. I don't think I'm going to need that darker exposure, so just open up these three. Aban la el photographique. I don't know how to say that in any other language, so don't quote me on that one, please. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, I'm pretty sure this one I can bring down and it'll hold every. Yeah. So I didn't lose any information in the highlights. So I'm just going to use this one because we don't need. The reason I was bracketing it all was just in case I lost some detail in any of the highlights, and then we can combine these. But actually, so let's actually just cancel this. We can just open the one. I don't know. That doesn't matter. I don't know why I'm even doing that, but that's fine. Less processing power to have one file open, you know. Maybe. So what we're gonna first, let's do a profile. We're gonna do Adobe Vivid. We're gonna want these colors to really pop. Let's bring our exposure back into healthy looking territory. Healthy-ish looking territory. Let's get our color temperature a little better. I believe. I'm pretty sure, and I should set everything in here to daylight balance, shouldn't I? I don't know what I'm thinking with tungsten. Originally, the reason I had everything tungsten in here is because I had a bulb in the top, in my top light there, and it was definitely a tungsten bulb. And then I replaced it to an LED that's temperature dimmable, so I can set it to pretty much whatever I want, or at least close to what I want. And I believe it would be better to have a daylight anyway, but whatever. This is fine. This is fine. But anyway, it should be around 32 Kelvin. That's fine. Tint is looking healthy. Healthy at a 37. I'm not old. I kind of like it when there's like a good blend, good blend between like the slight blue and green hues that we have going on in there. I think it looks pretty good. 33, dude. That's how old I am, so that's good. 33, man. It's a good number. Actually, no, maybe it's a little too green though. Jump the gun. 36, 37. I think 37 looked pretty good. I just pumped the slider until I'm like, stop. That looks freaking sweet. And again, I say this every stream, and I'll say it again. I'm not editing in a great place to edit photos. This does not end up, boding well for the image. So I probably will take a look at this again. Although I've said that, and then I've looked at it again, and I've been like, it's fine. It's fine. Let's not do more work. So anyway, 37, 3200 Kelvin, 37 plus 37 on our tint exposure. We came down. Well, the camera said it was 1 1/3 stop overexposed, and I'm bringing it down for now 1.5 stop, 1.5. So the light meter was pretty accurate. We're going to actually bring down the shadows. We're going to bring up the contrast. Bring the exposure down again. Ooh. Looking very nice. Very nicely. Very nicely looking. And maybe that exposure adjustment makes me want to change the tint a little bit more now. like a 42, 42-ish. Not bad. Not too shabby. That's not bad. I kind of want to bump the contrast up even more, maybe. Yeah. I don't know. The red of the background looks like it has too much magenta in it, and then maybe we can actually even 32. No, 32 is good. Maybe a little bit more magenta. Not bad. Okay. 85 on the contrast. Bring the exposure down just a little bit. Again, I really wanted it to emphasize just that central portion where we have our focus set and the lighting is also focused there, if you will, or spotted there. All right, it appears to be spotted there. Spotted frog. Dude, that looks pretty sweet, dude. I like the way that looks. Do you? I can't determine if this picture looks good. Can you? I will ask that about everything. The Simpsons are awesome. Thank you. I will say that if I want to. Yeah, look at that texture. Texture City. Texture City. Next stop. This image. See, now, like, when I get, maybe, see, again, I'll probably end up shooting some of this stuff again, because, like, a real ultimate, an actual macro shot of the texture on these leaves would be pretty cool. Because they are very textured and interesting looking. Or they have a lot of texture to them. But this is fine. Like I said, I kind of like how some of the leaves are falling out of focus and the ones in the background makes this central area, makes it pop a little bit. And again, this is destined for the Instagram world. And you were gonna look at it, it's tiny, and those out of focus areas will help it pop a little bit. I would say. Okay, that looks pretty good, in my opinion. I'm not sure what else I'd want to do. I'm bringing the exposure down just a little bit. I do have a tendency, I feel like I have a tendency to like the way overexposed stuff looks. Yeah, that looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. Bring up the contrast a little. Ooh. Blacks down just a little bit. Let's bring our highlights up, actually. Let's bring our whites up a little bit. 15. Highlights up 100. And let's bring our total exposure down again. Just so we can really get that cool looking selective lighting vibe that we were really enjoying about it. Maybe bring the blacks. No, I like this -10, dude. I like that. I like the crunchiness. I like it crunchy. Maybe the highlights can come down a tiny bit to 80. Yeah, 80. 80 sounds good. Good contrast. Good. I like that just slight red pop on the backdrop. I think that looks really cool. And since there's a little bit of red in these little tips, there's like where our critical focus was like right there. And there's like a little bit of a red hue, pink red hue to that little tiny end piece, which I would know what it's called if I was good at that, if I was a botanist, if I was an agriculturalist, if I was a horticulturalist. But I don't. I'm sorry. Sorry. That's pretty good. Yeah, dude, I'm liking that. Bring exposure, total exposure up just a skosh. Maybe bring those highlights down again to 70. Let's do 75 versus 80. Because I don't think that's... Look at that sweet texture, dude. You can you're starting... I mean, again, we'll probably do some some true macro shots. This is definitely not a, again, this lens, as much as they love to throw macro in the name of lenses, this lens is not technically a true macro, and I cannot get it to true macro reproduction ratio even with my extension tubes on. Hopefully we'll get some real macro lenses. I'm gonna play around. There's a sweet macro lens that Canon has, 65 millimeter. It's an ultra macro lens. It starts at macro, which is 1:1 reproduction ratio, and it focuses down to a 5:1. It's almost a microscope. I mean, it's not almost a microscope, but it gets pretty sweet. And something like this, shooting these cool textured pieces of things like this would be really cool with that lens. Getting some actual, because that would be a cool secondary image on something like this. Shooting a nice kind of a wider shot like this, but then also getting a really close texture detail. I think that could be cool. Anyway, I think this is good. I think that's pretty good. I might make some adjustments after the stream is over just to be sure I'm not doing anything too silly. But that looks pretty freaking cool, in my humble opinion. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Again, if you see anything, if you let me know, I'd love to hear what people think. Because otherwise I only have my own opinion in my own head. And that's fine, but I don't know. I like to hear what other people got to say. So, but that's cool. This is good. Again, maybe I'm just scared of those highlights. Bring those down just a little bit. 60. Down to a 60, yeah. And then maybe brighten the exposure just a little bit more. Yeah. Okay. Do we want to add vibrance and satch? I mean, this is the extreme. I think I mentioned last time when I'm doing color balance, sometimes I like to throw the saturation to the extreme and then mess around with color temperature, because you can really see if you've nailed it or not. But anyway, we don't need to do that because I liked the way the color was, and I don't think I want to add. I think there's so much color already. I'll do 10. I'll do plus 10 vibrance. I'll do plus, just for posterity's sake. Plus 10 vibrance. And then yeah, I think I'm good, dude. Let's open that baby up in Photo Chopper. Get through the Photo Chopper. We're going to crop. We're not going to delete the pixels yet, although we have to switch that back on before we put this on the border, huh? And then we wanted it, yeah, like I said, I kind of composed it intentionally to have this crop. So we wanted to get rid of that little bit of headroom. There's a little bit of a dirtiness on the bottom of the frame. Not anymore. No mas. Dirty frame is no mas. Not too shabby, Downton Abbey. As Gary had put it so eloquently earlier. Yeah, that's good, dude. Okay, let's bring in we have our new, we created another, didn't we create, oh yeah, there it is. It just, why didn't I have a name for it yet? I thought I named this sucker. Whatever, this is our new Instagram image backdrop border, white border that actually is at 300 DPI, so we don't have to keep changing it. Yeah, that's pretty nice. I don't think there's anything else I would want to do. So anyway, then we do have to crop, don't we? And we have to delete those pixels. So when we bring it in, it doesn't drag and drop that the entirety of the image. Oh yeah. Duh, change the size, dude. We want 9 on the longest side. 9 to 5. Sweet. And then we can drop that sucker in there. Select both layers. Hit that center button. Oh yeah, wait. Gary, you posted something about centering that I didn't read. If you want to share that again, you're welcome to. Or share it in the Discord. Share it in the Discord so it's like always there. If you please. Oh, here's what I wanted to do. Here, and we'll do it. We'll just... No, let's actually do that. Let's do that before we do our crop. Before we do any of that. There's the crop without the pixels. I just wanted to... I probably could have done this in RAW, but I'm doing it now. The left side of the backdrop is a little bit darker than the right side, so I'm just going to create a mask. I'm just going to create a little mask. Whoops. Hardness 10, good. I'm just going to kind of... Just to kind of darken... If I spent more time lighting... Yes, this could have been done in camera. Apparently, my studio is not set up for stuff like that. Apparently, I don't even have much to control the light with. Apparently... Whoops. No. Fool. And then what layer? We got that layer. Let's do a curve layer on there. And then we're just going to bring down just that corner just so it matches the other corner kind of a little bit better. Yeah. Not too much. Okay. Boom. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, now, why don't we actually save that since we've done some cool stuff. We'll save this succulent. Succulent PSD. Go away. What do you, why, why? Be more constructive. Okay, save. Yes. Yes. And now we can delete crop pixels. Delete those crop pixels. We can resize her. 9 inches on the longest side. We can drop it in there. Oh, pfft. Paul, you fool. I dropped the curve layer on accident in there. Center, center. Beautimus. Absolutely beautimus. And then all we gotta do now, optical centering. Yeah, again, when you say that, it's all I can think about is the lens being decentered. What size font are we at here? Whoa, Palmo Lorem. Lorem ipsum. Also, I have to choose, I gotta decide on a font size on my signature. They definitely don't do the same thing over and over again. Definitely changes. And I'm kind of a stickler for consistency. Stickler for the size, the text size, and then also for the placement, because this placement always kind of changes. And I do think it feels different on different images, so I kind of do like to shift it around. But this is fine. Okay. All right. Oh, yeah, that's a good placement. That's a good placement. A good signature placement. I'm using my handle. Using my online handle now, which is my name. So it's I think it's a good signature for this kind of stuff. Beautiful, dude. Okay. So let's save this guy now. Oops. Succulent border. PSD. Sweet. And then let's flatten this sucker. We're going to flatten it. We are going to resize it for web use, or specifically Instagram use. 72 ppi and 1080 mo-fucking pixel. Okay. And then it's going to be super pixelated if you zoom in there. Okay, perfect. And then we'll save this as a copy. And it will be a JPEGer for the Instagrammer. Border JPEG. And sRGB is good. That is our online color profile. Still, I'm pretty sure that's still the standard for online use. I'm pretty sure succulent border JPEG. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Save that guy. 12 maximum quality JPEG. Yes. And voila. I'm gonna close that. Don't save that because we don't want to have it resized. Don't save that. We just quit Photoshop for now. Ooh, whoops. Did I put them in the wrong? Oh, no. Okay, they're there. Whew. I was like, what the hell? Why didn't it save into the right folder? Nice, dude. There's our image. There's what y'all helped me create, yo. That's all you guys, you all help me do this. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I think it came out nice. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you had fun watching that happen. If you enjoy this kind of stuff, obviously would really appreciate, and you're obviously, if you're new to the stream, would obviously really appreciate a follow. I am trying to make my follower goal. How many days did it say? 5 days to go now. I've done like 3 of those. The goal is kind of arbitrary, so don't sweat it. I don't know if you weren't here at the beginning of the stream. I did pop in and I had 4 new followers. That was really fun. That was cool. I appreciate you. I cherish you, my followers. But yeah, if you like photography-based stuff, goal is 50. Wait, what did I say? 50 new followers? I had 4 new followers. What did I say? I don't know. Did I say deadline arbitrary? Oh, yeah. Okay. Deadline. Yeah, exactly. Deadline's arbitrary. What's up, Paxi? Yeah, the deadline is arbitrary, but we did get 4 new. As like I opened up the stream and then we got 4. It was 4 followers cascaded upon thee. That was fun, and none of them were named Haas. Although some of them were suspicious, in my opinion. Kind of suspicious naming on it, and I don't know. We'll see if they're real people in time. Anyway, this is the image. Thank you so much for sticking around and helping do this. That was fun. Okay, let's go into big mode. Go into big screen mode. That was cool. I don't know. Why am I moving this? I don't need to move it. Do I need to move it? I was going to whip out now. Let me do some gear show off. Pull this guy out. I also didn't even utilize. I did put on the. I put on my geared pan. Did I use it? I don't even know if I used it. If I panned it all, I think I might have done a little panning. Either way, now this geared top of this tripod head, they call these caps. Rogetti. I'm gonna do a whole thing on this brand. I have a lot of their products. They have some cool stuff. They have this tripod head that's pretty good. I have a whole series of videos I want to do just about tripod heads. Quest for the best tripod head. This is one of the newest heads that I've been playing around with. It's really cool. Don't get me wrong. I have some things to say about it. I won't say it here. And Rogetti has this system. They call it the cap system. And so this is the geared panning cap that you can put on. And it makes for very smooth, minute adjustments to the pan, which is pretty cool, especially for doing macro work. If you do macro stuff, geared heads, I don't know how you wouldn't use a geared head doing it. So I have most of the axes that I utilize in a nice, smooth, geared fashion. But then also, this is the new 90. Zero out that tilt. This is the Schneider, my new Schneider 90 mil. This thing is a beauty. It's a beauty of a beast. Okay. Very well built. Very, very well built. It's absolutely humongous for a 90 millimeter f4.5 lens, but it's a perspective control lens, so that's why you're gonna get those larger sizes, because this is a medium format lens. That's why you have that large image circle that allows you to shift, and it has this really interesting large disc twisting shift mechanism, very different than the Canon. This is one of the things I wanted to compare, is just literally the physical differences. And again, you just spin these knobs to do all the perspective controls. And then it obviously has independent rotation of the front, which gives you changes in axis of your shift, and then rotation of the full backside for the different orientation of your tilts or swing. And beautiful lens. And again, both the macro extension tubes, Canon macro extension tubes, on the R5 with the drop-in filter adapter, which we never utilize on this because we're probably never going to need a filter. Like maybe I'd use a polarizer to cut a reflection maybe once, or maybe, I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to try to do some cool comparisons between this and the Canon 90 and get some cool videos up about those. Maybe we'll do like a comparison on the stream too or something. I don't know. Really cool stuff though. And eventually, like I've said 100 times, eventually, it's not set up right now, but eventually, if you do want to help support the stream, eventually, if you want to help support the stream, I will have links to a lot of this gear up so that you can check it out. And if you want it and you liked what you saw here, you can buy it, you know. I'm trying to do a lot of eBay links because I'm a big proponent of buying used gear, recycling, buying used stuff. Save yourself some money. Support another photographer who's trying to sell off their gear. Nothing wrong with buying new. I buy new stuff too, but you know, save a buck. We photographers, we're not really rolling in the dough, as it were. And this gear is not cheap at all. So save some money, save yourself the stress. Buy eBay. But yeah, I would, like, for instance, this lens, when I do have a write-up about it and I do have links up to it, because you can't buy this lens new anymore, it's going to be it's probably going to be an eBay link that I would share so that people can buy this lens if they wanted to and test it out and play around with it and then resell it if you want to, because that's probably what I'm going to do with this one. Maybe I have the Canon 90mm macro tilt shift, which is probably what I'm going to prefer over this, but I haven't shot with this one enough. So you got to kind of stay tuned to, you know, learn what my final decision is going to be, I think. Stay tuned, subscribe, follow. Anyway, thank you all for helping making that image happen. We did that together. I'm Paul Mosi Hinton, and I will be doing a lot of photography-based stuff on this stream. So if you like it, please follow and come hang. We do a lot of cool photographic-related stuff. We have plenty of cool stuff on my YouTube, or we're getting to slowly put stuff up on the YouTube. There's a couple things up there, a couple old streams. I do plan on having some produced content on there. Instagram, Twitter, Patreon. Patreon, if you want to support the channel, great way to support the channel. And let's see what else we got out there. Discord. We also have a pretty sweet Discord, so check out the Discord. A lot of cool video game stuff, photo stuff on there. Yeah, obviously really appreciate everyone hanging out and spending the time here. Hope you enjoyed watching that happen. I really appreciate you helping make it happen. I always urge you to love yourself, love others, love life, and I will see you soon. I think tomorrow, what is it? It's going to be Wednesday. So Wednesday, what do I want to do tomorrow? I don't know. I'm not sure what I wanted to do tomorrow. I think I might do Redeem Horse. Oh, yes, dude. Oh, my God. Schneider lens. I kept saying that during the stream. Did you just make that? I haven't seen it yet. If you have used it, I hadn't seen it. Oh, you genius. Made me blush. Thank you for making that. Oh God, that's awesome. Thank you. Redeem. You're redeemed. You've just redeemed. Where was I? That just totally lost my. I was wrapping things up. I was wrapping it up, and then you hit me with the horse. How can a guy leave when he's been hit with the horse? Whew. Anyway, really appreciate all of you very much. Love you all very much. Don't lose your dinosaur. Please don't lose your dinosaur. Yeah, tomorrow, that's what I was talking about. Tomorrow, Wednesday. It is Wednesday now, October 13th. It was the Tuesday, Texture Tuesday stream. Wednesday, probably gonna. I think I might end up doing just another Stardew stream. I really want to get that. I really want to marry that photographer. If you've missed the streams, the previous Stardew streams we've done, we are trying to marry the photographer in that game, Haley, that girl. She will be ours. We are coaxing her into loving us with gifts, conversation, and just general attractiveness, in my opinion. So I think I might do that tomorrow. Maybe if I do a stream tomorrow, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna do it. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna do a stream. I just don't know if that's what it's gonna be, so don't hold me to it. But yeah, we'll be back tomorrow, Thursday. Pretty sure I want to do another Triforce Thursday Zelda stream. We'll do some photography in Zelda on Thursday, and then Friday, obviously, we're gonna be back to photography Fridays in Fallout. I'm pretty sure is what I'm gonna want to do, and then I might try to do another stream. Saturday or Sunday, perhaps, if I can. It would probably be a different time than usual. I don't know. We'll see. Don't hold me to anything. You can hold me to Photography Friday. You can probably hold me to Triforce Thursday in Zelda tomorrow, but not sure about. Or I mean, yeah, just not sure about tomorrow. Just not sure about Wednesday. We'll see what's happening. Anyway. All of you, please enjoy your night. I love you all. Thank you all. Goodbye, all. Peace, all. I love you all. Goodbye. Oh, you're still here? You guys are still here? What are you doing here? Go home. It's over. Stream ended.